but I couldn't finish my presentation, so let me begin the rest of my presentation. Last seminar I talked about a simulation method of social research. What is simulation? What is the reason used simulation method? And what simulation aims at? And so on. At the end of my presentation in the last seminar, I spoke of how to do simulation. I introduced you each step of simulation research like this. And I will begin with the last step, sensitivity analysis. Now you finished the verification of the validation of your problem. In most research, you'll take sensitivity analysis to watch how different there are in the conditions change the outcomes. First, vary values of initial conditions and parameters to input. Second, relearn the simulation, and let's observe the outcomes. We call this sensitivity analysis. Here's an example. Now you finished verification. However, each parameter can vary, so the number of Cartesian products of parameters can grow exponentially with the number of the parameters. So, generally speaking, you need a large-scale computational resource in sensitivity analysis. Randomness is very useful in simulation.
Excuse me. Would you check would you ask the first everyone if they understand about the sensitivity analysis or not before continue your presentation?
Did you understand?
Especially master first grade.
Master first. わかりますか？なんかわからない人。ですね。ですね。The simulation includes a lot of parameters like x, y, z. X is the weather. Y is some value of agents like age or something. But if you know even if you run this simulation about just particular condition like this だから x イコール1 y イコール1 z イコール1そういうのだけシミュレーションしてもあんま意味ないから そのいろんな場合にいろんなそのパラメータの値でまあ、変えるシミュレーションしてみて、まあ、それぞれの状態でどう変わるかっていうのを見る。
そのバリ
parameters or parameter of values of parameters. Any question?
ファーストステップ
I can't understand. I know the sensitive analysis, but I cannot understand your explanation.
センシティブアナリシスっていうのはさ、そのステップそのステップで最初の一番上の最初のステップを説明して、今この2つの説明をさらに加えたことで、この3つの操作を行うことで、データがセンシティブアナリシスですっていう説明をしよう。こういうことか。まず最初に。
そう。First, change input vary. No.
そのファーストステップは分かった。でもその2番目と3番目が分からない。
Sorry. Change first. You put some values in parameters and run the simulation and watch outcome. And second, change parameter and run the simulation and the outcome. So
Then what?
Why do you run simulation? Why you run this simulation?
日本語で言う感度分析って何すること？
そのパラメーターの変化がその結果に及ぼす影響を調べる、そのことです。
って言えばよかったんじゃない英語で。
ああ、ちょっと、英語ですが、
絵を出せますか？
だから家が結構。
If you sell something, like for example, if you want to sell some drinks, and you are the shop owner, so you can get some benefit by selling drinks. So maybe benefit can be calculated by the price of drinks times how many bottles you sell, and you have to minus some cost. Maybe you can understand this. 値段と売値と価数をかけてコスト引けば利益になるよね。で、感度分析って何するかと、if you change the price right going up or down, what happens in benefit? Or you can also change the cost like up or down. Maybe there are for maybe price going up and cost going down, what happens in benefit? Or if you make price down and make cost up, what happens in benefit? Change the inputs and what to know what observe what happens in benefit is a sensitivity analyst. But in agent-based simulation, there are a lot of parameters. This is only two, but there are a lot of parameters, so you can make some lists and check all of them and what happens in maybe in the output of the models. Just checking its sensitivity analysis.
Thank you, Scott. And
Maybe that the scenario analysis are a kind of a sensitivity analysis.
And if the simulation program doesn't include any probability in randomness, yes. Probability or randomness of in the action of agents. Then if you input the same values of parameter, you will get the same outcome. But if it includes probability, it's not the same outcome. But we will get outcomes at distribution. So I will talk about randomness now. Randomness is very useful in simulation research. If you have some information of where bit changes means what condition makes outcome change. Or what parameter are important? You need to investigate into only some area. ここは重要かなと思ったら、で分かってたらここやる。だからここは全然重要じゃないからやる必要ない。In this phase, play is composed of parameter x, y, z. But if you have no information, you should see the outcome of many different conditions. Then you can generate a uniform distribution by randomization. There are other uses of randomization in simulation research. Assume that we have a simulation model of people's behavior of buying foods in grocery. People buy foods for some anniversary, such as Easter or home. You now developed model and simulation about calendar, buying agents, and the structure of grocery. But you have no model about agent preference, about food, nor the weather. Although these factors can be important for buying. These factors. Now you can randomize values of these factors if you don't have these factors. Don't have information about these factors. There are two kinds of input values. One is values which you have a model. ちょっと小さいですけど、 there is two type of input values. One is I named A type. Sorry. One is value which you have a model of you and you vary by yourself. And the other is random values which are varied by a randomizing program. 自分が操作する値とインプットの値には自分が操作するだから自分が感度分析で変える値とこれがね例えばドボンが何日とかまあそれはもう決まってんだけどまあエージェントがとかいうのは自分で決めるんだけどこれは今ランダマイゼーションを使うからコンピューターが勝手にいろんな値を出してるSorry. In practice, two agents cannot act at the same time in simulation program. So you cannot avoid to decide orders of agent action. In order to avoid unwanted effects from particular orders, you can randomize orders of them. And maybe you take different orders in different steps in one run. Do you understand? Once you include randomness in your simulation, you have to run the simulation many times. Even if you find some changes out of few runs, those changes can be caused just from a randomized value, mean B type. In order to tell something from the outcome, you have to run it many times in the same condition of A type. Then you get some changes as distribution in outcomes, like this. This can be a result, and you have to cycle 1, 2, 3. In the same way, if you need to watch a result of different conditions. Do you understand?
Are there any questions about this? Or some of you cannot understand?
I wonder what is 1, 2, 3? Is it some?
Sorry.
Is it a step or sequence?
A sequence of steps. This is but step, but sequence, and this is. Any question?ちょっと変ですね。アウトカムツディストリビューション。
So change what?
Changes.
Distribution of what?
Outcome changes. Changes in outcome. Changes in value.
We get changes in outcomes.
Yeah.
Okay.
As distribution.
So
それを言っていくと、です。
To analyze outcomes as distribution, you will use some statistical methods such as variance analysis and regression analysis. But I don't talk about these methods now here. But please study them if you don't know them. When at a stage you publish your research, generally speaking, replication is very important for science and the communities of scientists. Your research should be open for replication, so other researchers can validate and verify your research. When you publish your paper of social simulation, you have to let it possible for readers to replicate the simulation. Many things are necessary for replication of simulation. Many graphs and data and source of program. But paper journal space is quite limited. To avoid this problem, you can upload the code of program in your website or publish in some electronic journal without limitation of space. For effective simulation-based research, don't seek an accurate model, but use simulation to develop theories and find new principles. To develop an accurate model is very difficult or impossible in simulation research. And you must iterate between a deductive and inductive strategy when you develop the model. Maybe some philosophical. Maybe some philosophy. Maybe you construct some norms of people. Norms of people are from some very rights and meta philosophical statements. Maybe this is maybe deductive, and but in simulation method, first prepare some norms of action of people and simulate this. Simulate action of people in this norm, and we can get outcomes as a state of the society. And from this result, I can reconstruct norm of action. So this is integrating between deductive and inductive. Any question?
Well, at the last seminar, I have asked about explanation about randomness, data, and model validation. Well, the explanation about the randomness is fine. I think it is clear enough. But how about the data? How to collect the data for the model? Because in social logic, in social science, it's very difficult to gather the quantitative data. So how to collect the data in for simulations in sociology? This is the first question.
Thank you. How to collect data?
Yes, because for simulation for social science is very different from other simulations because they're available of quantitative data. So it's one of the most difficult problems we have to deal when we use simulations in social science. So I have asked you to present an explanation about that.
Maybe I can just explain. Maybe I can explain about how to compare data. But sorry, to explain the way of collect data is very difficult for me. Give me time. Maybe next chance I will talk about this. Now I will talk about the other.
So anyway, I have sent all of you the slides of Nigel Gilbert himself. He has some slides about social simulations and complexity. He has talked a lot about it, so please refer to that and if you have time, please present it to the other others.
Thank you. Sensitivity analysis is valid just if the simulation is robust against random values. If it is not so, you need to model about. You need to make a model about the random values. That makes it robust. Because this means in your simulation, random values are just important. And this book maintains that you should challenge simulating not only a target in real world, but also an artificial society, which can apply to possible world.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
A model is a simplification of the real world of phenomena, usually.
We call it abstraction, not simplification. We are abstraction.
It's abstraction, but this book say it is a simplification. I don't know how different simplification, abstraction. And an abstraction and or a simplification of some phenomena, but from the real phenomenon, maybe a very concrete model you can make maybe concrete model, but you can also make a very abstract model. Very abstract model is maybe made from some real phenomena, but because it is very abstract, so we can use this model for other phenomena. If you find some isomorphism in those phenomena, so artificial society is very abstract society. And if you study this very common results from your research.
What is artificial society and possible world?
Artificial in artificial society, you don't have to in real world との合致合致をさせる必要がない。correspond You don't have to in artificial society research. You don't have to adjust your model to real phenomena. But and possible world is some means some ideal world or some very bad world in different parameters and different conditions.現実世界の抽象化ということで、最初は例えばそこからスタートしたとしても、その現実世界からある程度構造を見出してそれをモデル化して、でも現実とは異なる境界条件や、パラメータの値を入れて、構造は同じだけど見た目やその値が違うっていう世界を作って、でじゃそれがその世界がどう振る舞うのかって見ることで、だから現実ではないけど可能なあり得る世界っていうのをコンピューター上で考える。
Okay.
という。
Well, make an example is easier to understand, right? So, for example, consider the possibility of consider the research of effective defensive strategies in a possible smallpox attack. It's not possible, and we can make experiment on the real society, right? We cannot make a smallpox attack to the real society to do the experiment. So we have to build an artificial society on the computers and do the research in artificial society. So for example, we do the research on the strategies on the smallpox attack, and that research can be applied to the possible world. That means in the case of small attack, maybe it's not possible in the real world, but because we can't take that experiment, right? We can take the real experiment to make a small pox attack to the society. So that I think that is the meaning of this. It's not only the target in the real world, but build as possible artificial society on the computer and do the research that we can apply to the possible world, I think that the meaning of this sentence to make an example like that. Does that make sense?
Maybe that case is maybe very normal simulation.
No, it's not. No.
No.
Norm, well, the work on norms is abstract to understand the actual human societies. So
sorry. Normal.
normal. Normal.
Usual.
Usual.
Maybe. Well, maybe. I think the writer, author, think about some human life in Mars or Moon or other agents or aliens life. なんかそこまでのなんか
What's the goal of artificial society? Why we create artificial society? This is
of course very purpose is complete purpose for social issue or like Mr. Brain told, and but for fun, maybe it can be for fun.
only for fun?
No. But you can get some maybe from artificial society you can get very abstract and common abstract model for common social phenomena. Maybe
This is the only goal for simulation.
I don't know.
What? So maybe this is the answer. So what for prediction? Prediction. Simulation.
Prediction, but
Maybe the important role of simulation, also for prediction.
Yes, prediction of the future.
No, I don't think you understand this question because I have explanation about the example of smallpox attack research. So in this sentence, the focus one is but also is all right, but also an artificial society which can apply to possible world. The author want to say that not only the simulation model of which is applied in the real world, but also we create the artificial society to do the research on that. That is important. Is that right on that sentence?
ちょっと英語が。すみません。
今までの、
はい
説明の中でこうリアルワールドをシミュレーションとかシンプリケーションしてモデルを作ってシミュレーションして結果を見て、リアルワールドを研究するわけですね、今までの説明の中で。それだけじゃなくてモデルはそのアーティフィシャルソサイティ人工人間が作った例えばですね、大島モデルとかですねアーティフィシャルソサイティを作ってその中でこういろいろインフルエンザとかスモールポックスとかの研究をやるのも重要であってそれが結果はリアルワールドに実際の世界に使えるような研究も重要なんですよとこういうことを言ってるんですね。
Yes. But I think in this text, in this text, most abstract model is most abstract models don't have the particular target. So I think Oshima model
それが例として出してるわけです。今までの説明は全てこうthe world とかですねこういう今までのモデルの説明はこうなんですよね。だけどそれを最後にこうリアルワールドをモデルを作るんじゃなくて作るもあるんですけどもここでなんだっけ重要なのはbut also から言ってるんですよね。だからそれがどういう意味かっていうとさっき言った説明なんです。だからまあなんか人間がマウスとかいろいろ、さっきいろいろ説明を聞いたんですけどやっぱり、なんか不明確だなと。
Okay. Anyway. Anyway, at least so presenter should give an example. Okay, not only understanding the content of textbook and summarize the textbook. You have to give some example for our discussion. That might be very useful way to encourage our discussion. Okay, and anyway, so compared with the physical textbook, in that case is so universal law or right, so formula should be learned. But in the case of social sciences, discussion process itself is very important. So, and actually, artificial or possible world have several meanings. Possible world is a technical term. It is used in the philosophy of science also. Anyway, so in simple implication is a possible world is a historically different world. Okay? Or like your case is small case, it is not realized, but may be realized. That might be a case of possible world. Anyway, so in the social science, so real only one history is only one realized case. So another case is very important. It was not realized in our history, but it might be realized in some different situation. So we have, and especially when we design the society in future, it is not realized one. So many possibilities should be analyzed. So you have to give some example to understand that kind of technical term or concept described by author. Okay, not only show the simple explanation, but also your own interpretation or example to discuss. Okay.
じゃあ、any question?
You yourself don't discuss, then, well, you cannot learn anything.
自分一応分かったの
日本語でもいいから答えればいい。
黙ってるってこと分かったっていうぐらいね。ってことは質問したら答えられるんじゃないこの2章の話を。
2章結構重要ですね。
ソーシャルサイエンスにとって沈黙はゴミです。
はい。
アーティフィシャルっていうアーティフィシャルソサイティ。前のところがノットオンリー与えているリアルワールドか現実世界よくわかんない下のやつはちょっと
ごめん、はい、アーティフィシャルソサイティっていうのが大島のモデルとかも出てきたんですけど、現実の世界のモデルを考えるためにちょっと単純なモデルを考えることをアーティフィシャルソサイティっていうのか、例えばなんか疫病とかが蔓延するのを簡単に表現するために大島のとかちょっと簡単なモデルを考えてたと思うんですけど、その大島のモデルっていうのは実際に存在しているからアーティフィシャルソサイティには当たるのかどうかっていうのが自分はちょっとよく分かんなかったんですけど、例えばなんですけどアーティフィシャルソサイティっていうのがなんか物事を簡単にするためにちょっと簡単化したものをアーティフィシャルソサイティに当たるのかどうかっていうのをちょっと知りたい。それともアーティフィシャルソサイティっていうのはもう本当実際存在しない社会を考えているものなんです。
まずアーティフィシャルの辞書を引いてみてください。
人口
そう人口っていうのは人間が作るでしょ。人間が作ったものだから実際の社会を反映するけど存在しない。
Anyway, so the word artificial have a different type of hierarchy, like our life game. That is a very very artificial one, but that show some interaction pattern. That means something about our social interaction.
ライフゲームっていうのは5番の目みたいに
そうライフゲーム。Anyway, so understand in the case of social science or even in computer science or artificial intelligence, maybe you have to learn more example of models, and that is very very useful to understand so many type of modeling. Anyway, so Sugarscape, Sugarscape model is also like abstract one. It is not abstraction of real world, but it is called sometimes it's abstraction of anti-society or that kind of one. But anyway, so abstract very, very abstract model. So typical type of artificial society. But that shows some interaction about resource taking. Okay? So the meaning of resource taking is give us some conjecture to understand real world things. And compared with, next case is mathematical one, game theory. That is typical artificial one. Where is the game theory in the real history? That is also abstraction. So there are so many types of abstraction and abstraction degrees. Okay, so of course, even if we assume a very, very realistic one, realistic model in the computer, but anyway, we omit our physical condition of the body in the computer simulation in many cases. Of course, in medical simulation, they think about that one. So, in any way, so abstraction cut something from real world. But anyway, so artificial, in this case, was some also emphasis on artificial. That means so many people believe the more realistic is more good one. But sometimes, so more abstract is give a very, very good understanding for some aspect of our society. That's the point. So anyway, so this type of, there are so many type of this type of discussion. That's the point. So as an elementary textbook, maybe Nigel Gilbert try to give very, very easy understanding. So if we try to read social science textbook, then depending on your own brain and knowledge, so to try to understand as possible as you can by giving concrete example, and the discussion is a point, not to understand author's interpretation, not only, but also to add your interpretation. Discussion is very, very important. So Master 1 student, okay, not only English but also Japanese, okay, but don't be silent, okay? And actually, well, in these 2 days, I'm only 6 hours sleep in 2 days. So I'm no sleeping high. 疲れた。頑張ってちょうだい。
Well, well, I have questions. Well, there is a target to model, right? There are many possible models of that target.
Yeah.
So we have a dilemma. We want to build complex model to make it more realistic. But more complex model is hard to validate, and it's hard to build to. So there is a very big problem for the developer to first develop an agent-based model. That is, how complex is good. So that is the one point that we have to discuss, because not only a complex model is good. More complex the model is harder to validate, and I think validation is very important.
Yes. First,ここで健康社会っていうのはそういうことじゃなくて、
いや今別のディスカッション。
はい。
どこまで、モデルを作るかっていう。
それ先週ちょっと説明したんですけど、
別に
もちろんそうです
あなたが言うんじゃなくてみんながディスカッションする。
あ
いいですかね。まあチェアマンが時間をちゃんと
じゃあすみません。じゃあちょっとplease.
まあ他の人が質問がなければ。
修士やエージェントベースの研究をするにあたって何をすべきかは分かったの？2章でそれが分かってないと全然意味がないんだけど、あと3章以降は方法論の話だからさ。あと出口研の研究でいうと基本的に何も意図せずに多分人工社会は作ってると思います。モデルに大抵の人は何の意図もせずに例えばグエンさんがさっき言ったけど、俺とか感染症やるのに伊豆大島のモデル作ってるけど、基本的に伊豆大島のモデルの中で人とかは行動してるわけだから、まあ、伊豆大島をベースにはしたけれども、あの中でコミュニティっていうのは成り立ってるの一応で、例えば藤川君の研究もそうだし、携帯市場っていう人口の世界がもう出来上がってるのよ、研究の中に。そこに現実世界の予想を当て込んでみてどう出るかっていうのを計算したりしてる。もちろん現実世界のデータを入れなくてもモデルとしては振る舞いのチェックができてるわけ。ちょっとだからある意味エージェントベースシミュレーションとかエージェントベースモデリングの技術がちょっと上がってきちゃったから、人工社会と現実社会の境目っていうのが分からなくなってきてるんだけど、昔はその人工社会そのものを作るっていう研究自体が結構盛んにされてたから、まあ、セル空間の中にアリを動かしてみて社会を作ってみて、その中に例えば強いアリを入れたらどのグループが生き残るかとか、そんなことみたいにしてたんだけれども、それがソアーズとかもそうだし、メイソンとかリパストもそうなんだけど、簡単に世界が作れるようになってきちゃったから、ちょっと境目が理解はちょっとしづらいかもしれないけど、基本的に出口研でやってる想定している世界っていうのは基本的に人工社会として出来上がっている。それをどの流度で作るかっていうのは、この世界で存在するあらゆるレベルで作れるわけ。市場を単位とするのが、もっと言ったらこのコミュニティを人工的に作ったってそれは人工社会だし、東工大全体を作ったとしても人工社会だし、まあ、ある意味自分たちが生きてる世界も人工社会だからね。
ちょっと質問があるんですけど、まあ、目的によるとは思うんですけど、まあ、複雑な現実をありのまま再現したようなシミュレーションの方がなんか恣意的な操作みたいなのがなくていいような気がするんですけど、そんなことはないです。現実にある社会からこの要素この要素この要素を持ってこようっていうところには恣意的なものが働いてしまっていて。
That is a typical type of methodological question. Okay, so what's realistic? That is the problem. Okay. So realistic, can you define that one?
Realistic?
Realistic in complex social world.
So I understand realistic is the complete copy of the
Complete copy. Complete copy. What's kind of copy? So
Copy.
that means the physical copy,
Yeah.
or psychological copy, or so medical copy. So what kind of layer? All layer. That means physical copy into that one. Some science fiction that say physical copy, like Fissenden universe. This is a very very famous and science fiction. But copy. What should be what will be copied? That's the question. Even in social science description, every author, for example, sociology research or economic domain research or political scientists insist that their own reality and described by verbal. So what's the real? That's a problem.
I think depending on the author and researcher.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that means the reality depends on aspect.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a kind of the arbitrary.
Arbitrary. Okay.
Arbitrary. So.
But that is not real. Arbitrary doesn't mean, well, the real means that real. That means, well, unique interpretation. If there is no unique interpretation from real world to our model, that means, well, from a philosophical point of view, the model's explanation, what the model reality means, okay? Or there exists a unique model correspondent to the real world. That's a problem. Traditionally, physical scientists believe that one. But in the case of social science or more complex social or sometimes biological system, the reality itself is very, very controversial word. So more complex model, that's have some meaning. You introduce some element and element and element and element and element. But how to combine that? Actually, well, complex model sometimes become very, very complicated. Complicated means nothing to analyze. Okay. So what kind of understanding layer is a rich understanding? That itself is a very, very controversial and important issue in the social science. So of course, two abstract models have well sometimes say abstract nonsense, but well more complicated and given a okay. For example, so economical analysts, that people say so complete example and example and example and example and example and example, but totally they don't say nothing. So what's the real, or what is the real complexity? That is very, very controversial and difficult to understand. What's the rich model? That have that question have a meaning. But in that case, it depends on our research or social interest. It depends on. If we want to some psychological aspect of the society, then well we try to construct a psychological model. And sometimes we are interested in economical aspect of the world. Then we try to construct an economical model. And sometimes we try to introduce psychological, economical, and political, and then so on. Then we'll try to introduce so many factors in the model, but it have no meaning. Okay, yes. Are there any, not question, but your objection might be very, very important for our discussion. Actually, sometimes so many people say debating, but I hate the concept of debate. A Socrates' way of talking might be very, very useful. That means, you say something and other people say something and something, and discussion, and you understand more, so rich understanding, rich understanding, okay? But for that purpose, not only question, but also your own opinion or your own understanding should be expressed. Okay, so please say objection. In my opinion, okay, please say. I hope.
Manham, would you ask us every time you go into the next slide? Whether we understand?
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Today I will discuss about system dynamic network models. Maybe this is the first simulation model in the early 1916 by G.W. Forrester. This is the founder of the system dynamic, G.W. Forrester, and he's still alive until now. And he has a professor at MIT Sloan School of Management. This is the founder of G.W. Forrester. Maybe the background is the electrical control. So based on the system model-based equation, like the differential equation. So he built a system dynamic based on the model-based equation. So if you are already read the chapter 3, maybe this is very complicated to understand because they directly say what is the system dynamic. But the introduction for the system dynamic, maybe I want to explain more little deeper. So maybe it is take much time. So we also can discuss about this. Maybe this is we can begin from linear to circular thinking. This is based on system thinking. Also from system structure to system behavior. So we not only consider the event, we must know the structure of the system. And we move to from causal loop diagram to stop and flow diagram. We from conceptual model to simulation model. This is causal loop diagram to stop diagram from conceptual model to simulation model. And how to simulate the system dynamic? This came from differential equation to difference equation. How we approximate differential equation by using computer. And the last we can discuss about from simple model to complex model. In this book, they have two models to describe the use of system dynamic by using some software, Stella or maybe Dynamo. I will explain the software. So we begin with from linear to circular thinking. Maybe this is the simple example. Maybe this is happen while we the owner of the farm, the crop is decreased. So if it happen, we can ask why does it happen? Maybe we observe some bugs attack our crop. So the first thinking is how to eliminate this one. Maybe we can move to this one. How to stop crop damage by insect A. So the owner call the consultant and make the spray or pesticide to stop the crop damaged by insect A. After that, the bug is decreased and the crop increase again. But what's going on after several days, several years? The crop is decreased again. What is happened? There are another bug called type B. This is the yes, because the insect or the bug A is the what is called predator for insect B. So the insect B is grow and cause they damage the crop. Maybe this is our usually thinking, our everyday action if we encounter with the problem. So this is explanation of failure of linear thinking. So pesticide application, so decrease the insect A. The more pesticide is applied, the fewer insect they will damaging the crops. And the total damage crop better in short time, only in short time. But we not observe unintended side effect because the insect A is predator of insect B. So the insect B is killed. And after that, he damaged the crop. So this is the side effect if we only use the linear thinking. We only consider how to eliminate the problem. After that, we not consider anything again. So, decision thinking or thinking in circular is made deeper understanding. So we also observe the long-term effect, not only the short-term but the long-term effect of our action. So there are feedback. This is we call some control from our system to come back to our mind, so we can observe what what is going on time after time after we apply some action. So there is a feedback, so we can improve our action to solve the problem. So this is linear thinking approach. See a problem, decide an action, expect a result, and believe that it is the end of the issue. This is maybe true if we dealing with short time goal, but maybe we not observe unintended side effect of our action. Okay, until here there are questions for my explanation. Is this clear?
So feedback process is like a linear is a
Cycle. So the output, from the output we have feedback to our input again. So what thing we must do from the result in every time we observe the output. So we must we have some modification our action, some like of control our action.
What kind of feedback we have? What type of feedback in the system? In general.
Maybe we can use backward feedback based on our maybe the feedback can be reached from if we have supervised system. So we have a target. So if the output is have a gap from our goal, so we can inspect the feedback. This is kind of a supervised system. We have our goal. So if the difference between output and goal, we observe that it can be considered as a feedback. But in the many cases, the complex system consider the unsupervised system. So the system is not have a goal, but he can self-maintain the system. So the feedback, we must observe the feedback every time.
So my question is, what types of feedback? So I think in system dynamics, the feedback thinking is very important. And in general, there are two types of feedbacks. The first is the positive feedback or reinforcing feedback.
Yes, and balancing.
And balancing feedback,
yes.
Or is also called negative.
Yes,
feedback.
negative feedback. I will explain later.
Okay.
If you want to ask the feedback, negative feedback, or some kind of reinforcing and some kind of balancing, there are explanations after this. Thank you. Another question?
すみません、その今言ってたフィードバックの種類ですか？
種類。 ポジティブプラスかマイナス、プラスはリインフォースフィードバックをでも言うし、でマイナスフィードバックはバランシングフィードバック。
So in the structural system, we can observe the behavior of the system in terms of reinforcing or imbalancing. So if we can take the graph of the pattern of our system, this time, this is our output, YT, maybe the reinforcer feedback is also increased. But in balancing, we have some target, so it can be balanced in to reach the goal. Maybe if you have a account in the bank, you save the money, and there are the interest from the bank. After you save, the amount of the money will increase. This is some reinforcing. But in the case of balancing, we have maybe we have want to fill the bathtub, so there are flow of inflow water and outflow water. So this is balanced to make the some level or the goal of our what amount we have inflow the water and what the outflow of the water. So I can explain what the behavior of the system we can generate by using reinforcement feedback or balancing feedback.
発散と復元力みたいな。
I think linear thinking is like feed forward controlling, and circle thinking is feedback controlling. That is okay.
Yes, maybe in the linear thinking we not observe the outcome. If we have already done our action and the result is our observed, and we not take the feedback from our result to make consideration of another action. So this is only one way direction of our thinking.
Will you explain circle thinking from now?
Yes, I will explain the cycle of thinking. So we will continue. So this is maybe the big picture of our problem, and this is our action. I spray the bug by using pesticide and decrease the type A of bug, and we have another problem, increasing of number of insects. So this is the circular thinking. We look at a big picture. So thinking in circular is causality. We have a causality relationship. So information about the problem, we take an action and the result back again to our input. So in this kind of thinking, we can create the understanding necessary for better long-term solution. So we not take our action and see the result, but we must come back again to get information about the result. This is some kind of circular causality. So this is short-term versus long-term. In short-term, by pesticide application is necessary for our problem, but we must observe what the result of our action. There are unintended side effect of our action. So this is come again from our information to our input to our action. This is some kind of feedback. So we can consider our current action to develop or to improve our next action. Yes, right. So how we can make our understanding about the circular thinking or causality? We move from system structure to system behavior. What is system structure and what is system behavior? I will explain later. So we can inspect our system by using structure of the system to determine the behavior of the system. So if we can understand the behavior of our system, we can make the structure of the system so that the behavior of the system can be understand more deeper. What kind of the structure of the system? This is one example. If we want to fill the empty glass with water, we have our eye to get the information from the glass, and also how our hand, our eyes using to control our hand from the flow of water. And this is we want to fill the water in this level. So this is some kind of structure of the system. So how we can describe this structure? This is how we can use the causal loop diagram. Causal loop diagram. Graphical notation for representing system structure. So we can see if the faucet of the water is opened, so the water is flow to the glass, and after that we increase the level of the glass. After that we observe what the level we want, the goal we want to fill the glass, and the difference between the current water in the glass and the goal. So this is the process we can describe like this. So in the implementation, we have this one. We have the things 1 and things 2. The arrow indicate the relationship. And this is Mr. Nguyen say that this is other sign of positive, and we have the sign of negative. What is the meaning of positive and negative sign? We can look at this. If we have the positive, increase of one thing is also increase in same direction of another thing. So if the thing A is increased, it is cause this thing B is also increased in same direction. If A decrease, B is also decreased. But if we have the minus, so this is in the opposite direction. If A increase, B will decrease, or opposite, B increase, A will decrease. This is the using how we can build a CL, causal loop diagram. Sales increase the revenue, yes. If sale is decreased, revenue is also decreased. Yes, so the sign is positive. Product sales and inventory. If product sale is increased, the inventory is decreased because so many good is already sold. Yes, so our inventory is decreased. This is our notation to build the causal loop diagram. This is the example when a saving account like this. This is interest rate, this is our interest, this is the principal, so this is the pattern. This is the structure of the system we can build, and this is the structure. We can look at this structure. This is the positive and the positive also. So this is the loop is some kind of reinforcing feedback. So the behavior of the system is like this. Pattern of behavior is increased like this. But if we have filling a glass of water, this is the balancing group. This is the balancing loop, because we have a goal. So the pattern behavior is like this. So maybe there another pattern of behavior like oscillation or linear pattern, or maybe there are another pattern of behavior of our system. So this is causal loop diagram is conceptual model. We also just to describe the dependency or causality of our model. But how we can get the quantitative data from our conceptual model? We must convert our causal loop diagram to stop and flow diagram to simulate in the system dynamic concept. So this is the CLD of our system, but we cannot get what the quantitative result of this CLD. So we must convert our CLD to stop and flow diagram. How to convert this? So we have like causal loop diagram. This is the stop and flow diagram. And in the stop and flow diagram, we use two kind of terms, stop and flow. This is the hydraulic metaphor that I already explained. In flow, this is rate, and the accumulation of the water in the bathtub is the stop. So this is outflow, is also the rate. This is the oncoming rate and is outcoming rate. So the stop is a generic symbol for anything that accumulates or drain, and the flow is rate of change of a stop. Maybe this is some example. In flow, birth, and our stop is population, and our outflow is death. Yes, planting, field trees, cutting down. This is some kind of inflow, stop, and outflow. This is the concept of methodology, system dynamic methodology. Stop or level and flow or rate. So based on this diagram, we can construct our simulation by using difference equation. Until now, there are questions. Okay, I will continue. This is the general structure. This is the symbol of the stop is represented by a rectangle, and is the flow like this, and is the source of the flow. Maybe the source of the flow, this is the clouds, is not defined, but we can define where the source of the flow. We can define, like in next example. So this is level. This is the symbol for dynamo, or for stella, or for fencing. There are, for I think, there are many software can be used to simulate the system dynamic. But in general, the symbol is same in every software. So this is the source. If we cannot define where the source of our flow, we can use the clouds like this. So this is the level. Yes. Stop accumulation or state variable, and This is for rate, like this. Movement, activity, change of value of level. And also, this is auxiliary. Auxiliary means in the model we can use as to describe parameters, system parameters, by using this symbol. And also, this is source. If we cannot define where is the source of our rate, we can use the clouds like this. And so we have example, simple example. This is the CLD, and we can convert to stove plot diagram like this. So bird as a flow and the population as a stock. But the source of the bird we don't define the source of it, so we can use the cloud. So in stock flow diagram, we can use convert like this. This is this is the simple way how to convert the CLD to stock flow. First, we think what is the stock. After we can define the stock, we observe what is the flow, and we use the flow. This is the population example. We can use like this. This is the parameter or the constant value of this. So from the stock and flow diagram, we move from differential equation to difference equation. Maybe we know how to make a differential approximation. So we often difficult to use analytical approach to analyze our differential equation. So we want to use computer to make approximation solution to our differential equation. So maybe this is the approximation. This is the quite simple. We have the equation like this, and on interval, close interval A and B, and given the initial value, and we have, this is the Euler approximation. This is the simple Euler approximation. By using the Euler approximation, we can convert our differential equation to the difference equation. In the difference equation, we only have integer number, and h is the difference between our time step, or the difference between the current time and the past time. So we can convert to approximate differential equation to differential equation to difference equation. This is the basic of the simulation in system dynamics. So this is the the first software to simulate system dynamics called Dynamo. But this is only run in under DOS, and we cannot. I cannot find the software in this. So this is time in Dynamo. This is the past, and is the present, and it is the future. So we calculate the difference between present and future, and present and past in some kind of delta in our approximation. This is a simple inventory model. This is the stock, and this is the parameter, and also this is the constant. So using this equation, we can get the simulation result. How? I will explain later. But I found only Stella, so I download, and I have a trial version of Stella.
Why don't you ask me?
Oh.
I have still.
Oh.
I was still hard to use.
Oh. So
You can find the Stella around here.
So in Stella system or Stella software, this is the Stella. I use the Dove, Hawk, and Low button to use this simulation. So this the Stella some kind of is same like SOAS. We have button to icon to move. This is the stop.
Yeah. So
Stop.
before developing Stella, I was a hard Stella user. You understand?
Yes, I understand. Because this model I run this model.
And please push an equation.
This is the equation. You
Yeah.
can set the equation.
Yeah, this is a typical type of first order non-linear differential equation, multivariables. So if you give some suitable name in Stella's icon, then it looks like a complete differential equation style. Actually, so compared with the source, this is the model builder layer.
Yes.
And that is about icon visual array. But dynamical process itself is quite different. So our source is quite different from Stella or this type of
System.
differential equation, non-linear differential equation that includes many type of positive or negative feedback process.
So
Question.
yes.
Yes. Is there also use Euler application for solving the equation?
Yes,
Euler.
it can be used.
Oh.
So this is
Euler is very easy to realize, but
many
not so good
error.
algorithm.
yes.
Maybe instead of maybe I remember. So there are three type of way. Euler and Runge-Kutta 2 and Runge-Kutta 4.
Oh.
Euler has very speedy way,
Yes.
but also very
Anomaly.
yeah.
Comes.
But Runge-Kutta 4 is a very good way to simulate that kind of differential equation.
So this is the symbol of stop. This is the for flow, and this is for parameter, and this is for connector. So we can see this is Dove. We can click like for us. We can see to input the initial value to this equation. So this equation is based on our approximation, like in equation like this. We not define this because this is the including in system. So we only define the equation for rate. So we can see for equation for rate we can click here and we can define the equation. So how we define this variable? We can define this variable by using the connector, this like this. So this is input for doves, the dove. This is also input. So we can use this input to define the equation. How we can define the equation? This is defined on our model of thinking. So this is maybe the difficulty by using a system dynamic methodology, because we must define our equation. So how we can get our equation? This define our model.
So sometimes system dynamics modeler starting from this figure, so it's easily to become very complicated.
Yes.
So in my case, I start from this equation layer directly.
I think that
Easy, actually very easy non-linear differential equation simulate. Right. So you can start from differential equation directly.
But for the trial version, this cannot be saved. So maybe after we want to construct a new model, this is eliminated from our, and this is appear the new windows to build a new model.
How much they cost?
Academic version is a very, very cheap one.
Oh.
And maybe no academic version, well, no student version is maybe 100,000 yen. 10万円ぐらい。But academic version is very cheap one. If you want to use stair with me and this person.
Okay. Okay, this model based on the model in our book, that is the model Hawk, Dove, and Low Bidders. Maybe in the game theory, we only have two strategies or two actions, Hawk and Dove. This is describe how the animal compete to some results. So this is the habit. We use Hawk, Dove, never fight for a resource, and if he made from another strategy, he do not want to compete. But if Dove meet with another Dove, they share the same resource. But Hawk is the very aggressive, always fight for some resources. So if there are two Hawk compete, they also fight to get the resource. So this is another strategy or another behavior of the animal is the law abider. It is like a dove, but he want to wait until some person not to fight or defeat from the fight. So in this model, we define the payoff structure. There are three: the utility of position U, and the cost of fighting, and the cost of waiting. This waiting is only for the law abiders strategy. So if we define U equal to 10, T have 20, and CD 3, we get this payoff structure of the game. So by using maybe this is the replicator dynamic approach. So the aggregate of subpopulation applying strategy I is defined by the average for all strategy, subtract from the average for individual applying I strategy. This is kind of the replicator dynamic approach. So from this equation, we can derive for the difference equation. So we have the difference equation in cubic differential equation. This is not linear differential equation, but non-linear differential equation. So what we want to intended to analyze from this system, this is we want to observe the stability of the strategy. What kind of strategy can survive in the long term? So by using analytical analysis, we can observe three stationary states by using the left hand side of this equation equal to 0. So this can be satisfied by using dove. Population of dove is equal to 0. Population of hawk is equal to 0, and population of law abater is equal to 1. So only one strategy survive in this model. So if all strategy is dominant, this is the stationary state or the stable state. So we assume another strategy is 0. So there is a 3 possible stationary strategy. Population law abater is 1, or population half is 1, or population of dart is 1, and another population is 0. This is one. This is 3 possibility of our stationary strategy. We can derive from this equation. If we let PD PH is equal 0 and we substitute to this equation, we can get the left hand side is equal to 0. So in analytical analysis, in more deeper, it is very difficult to find another stationary state from this nonlinear equation. So the model is approximate to linear one. So in the linear stability, we can found there are 3 another stationary state, this one, in case of no population of law abater in this case. So how we can simulate this by using Stella? This is, we set 90% of the initial population of hawk, and 5% and 5% for dove and for law abater. We can see the survive strategy is law abater. This is the first simulation, but I simulate this equation only for time 0 to 10. But if we set 99.9% to hawk, the population is initial, and only 0.5% for hawk and law abater, we can see if we simulate the model only from 0 to 10, we can see no strategy is dominant. But if we set the range to 0 to 30, the law abater is also have dominant strategy. We can see the dove can increase at the first time, but after that he decrease again, and the law abater is increased. So in this model, the law abater strategy is more likely to be the dominant strategy if the time is more. We have spent much time to simulate this model. So this is the one case of this is 99% doves. If we let one strategy equal to 1 and another is 0, the system is stable for the strategy we set equal to 1. But in this case, we have 99% of dove, almost equal to 100%, and only 0.5% for another strategy, or opposed to 0. But there is still law abater. Why not the dove? Because in the previous analytical analysis, if we set one strategy is dominant in the initial condition, like almost 100%, we likely to analyze this strategy is dominant, is the stationary stable. But in this case, we have 99%, almost 100% from the initial population. But in the simulation, we found that law abiders is the dominant, the stationary stable strategy. Why not the dove? With the starting point is almost 100% in the population in the initial. So this is the difference between how we use simulation and how we use the analytical approach. Maybe the result is not same and is very sensitive to the initial value of our system. So we
question.
Yes.
For by analytical analysis, so other equilibrium other than law abider,
Yes.
is it attractive?
So this is maybe we must look at this picture, this one. This is the saddle point. So every point in this graph determined as a fraction between half and half. So if we start in this right hand bottom of this axis, this is about 99% of half and 0 of half, the percentage. So we can see, if we start in this case, we can see proportion of half and half is decreased until he have zero population. So every combination of initial value, the system is approached to law abider as a stationary stable. Except if we have start in saddle point.
Okay.
This is the saddle point.
Saddle point.
So the attraction of there is no point of a state of attraction in this model. Only the saddle point of this model. Maybe this is only use 20 combination of initial value. Maybe we must do our analysis by using different initial value. So maybe the sensitivity analysis is very important to this kind of system dynamic modeling. So this is the result about the model. This is the simple model. The second model is very complex. The world model. G&W Forster has built two model of world. The first and the second. The second one is the modification of the first one, and he only sum 4 sectors: population sector, pollution sector, natural resource sector, and capital stock sector. All of this model using the system dynamic approach. But how he used the population sector, natural sector, and capital sector? He used table function. What is table function? I will describe later. So this is the equation of the birth rate, food multiplier, material multiplier, and the pollution multiplier. Also, this is the pollution factor. Also, he determined by linear differential equation like this. So this is how he determined table function by using statistical yearbooks. He have developed standard like regression linear by using, for example, this is material standard of living and this is birth rate. How he determined material standard of living and how he determined birth rate by using material standard of living. This is one example. So he forecast of the birth rate by using material standard of living from the statistical yearbooks. So he developed this model in 1970, early 1970, in the first model. So he observed the data before the 1970 from statistical year in the United States. So he construct the use of the birth rate or population rate. All rate he used table function like this. So every time the table function is changed by the time with this value. So I not discuss the model, but this is the result of the model. He want to reproduction of forest world in the world 2. It is the model of the back to 1880. So what? This is I found this graph from this source. We can see this is the reality from the data. This is the population from the data, and this is the simulation. There is a two type of model. So we can see the simulating model is not quite make better prediction because there is some gap. So maybe the world model is very complicated. The one of consideration for this model is why he used table function, because the table function is only describe the linear dependency based on linear regression to forecast the rate. But in the reality, there are non-linear effects we cannot observe. So the model has been simplified by using the table function. So the dependency only consider a linear, only linear consideration. The dependency, how he determined the rate of birth of rate, pollution rate, market rate, and all the rate he defined by linear dependency. Maybe this is the author of the books tell their opinion. Maybe this is the one of we must consider the use of table function. So from this I can make consideration about non-linearity in our model. Maybe by using system dynamics, it's hard to include the non-linearity aspect, especially from our function. How we must define the rate, how we must define the parameter, how we must make the model with non-linearity, to include the non-linearity. So this is the reality and the simulation result. So maybe there is a the third model. This is discussing from this they discuss in from the what is kind of Roma what
Rome Club?
Roma Club, yes. The club of Roma. There must be everyone and with Meadows and G.W. Forster. They have a club called Club of Roma. But until now, they not continue. I don't know. They did not continue. Only the third model. There is a third model of the work model. So this is my conclusion. Stable function can just be dangerous. Like I explained before, it is only consider the linear dependency. So this is type of trackability. We use the linear function or linear dependency because we want to track our system. This is simple a simple system to be tracked. If we use non-linear one, maybe it's hard to track the result of the simulation, of our simulation. So maybe the simplification is better, but it is dangerous to make simplification to our model. So this is our trade-off, like Nguyen Sang said, how we can make our complexity to the simulation result, how we can make the validation about our model and our validation, our reality. Maybe this is some kind of trade-off. By simplifying the model, maybe it is very dangerous to our result, to validate to the reality. Maybe in the conclusion to the 3 chapter, because our group have chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3, we have to conclude that social simulation is very useful to obtain better understanding of the features of the social world. But in our opinion, we better not to emphasize on prediction, because prediction requires more complexity. But better is to understand and to explain. But our simulation, in the case of social simulation, maybe it's better to make our simulation to explain, to understand some of the social phenomena, not to emphasize on prediction. Because the simple explanation maybe can be used as the new theory to our domain. So model design, model building, verification, and validation and publication should be in the circular process. So we cannot be arrive in one way direction, but we must turn back to our initial position. Because if we want to improve our model, we must make the cycles of our work. So there are many objections or many suggestions from the other research, and can be used to improve our model. So the circular process is very important. To improve the existing model, we use sensitivity analyze or what-if analyze. So the last is non-linearity effect should be handled carefully.
Can you explain about what-if analysis?
Maybe this differences is sensitivity analysis dealing with the initial or the parameter. The sensitivity of the output related to the initial parameter, initial value or parameter. But what if analysis, maybe this is quite similar, but in my opinion, what if analysis is dealing, if we have constructed the agent-based model, we have some rule. And if we change the rule, not the parameter, not the initial value, but the rule or the steps of the rule, we change. So we dealing with change our our model to improve the capability of our model. But in many cases, this is like quite safe because we have the scenario. So
It is it's the same as scenario in our
yes,
it's
scenario.
the same.
Using different scenarios. Maybe in sensitivity analysis we only observe about parameter and initial value. But it is maybe possible to change the state or the direction of the model. Maybe, but it is maybe it's quite different. What if analysis is means by scenario in our model? There is anything.
A question.
Yes.
When you define the equations, can you like introduce some kind of stochastic variable term?
Yes, because in this this is built-in function.
Okay.
There is many kind of function we can use as input or as exponential. Also, or we can also define our function.
But I mean some random terms.
Yes, this is the normal distribution.
Oh.
You use or uniform distribution with use the parameter. Where is the sigma? Or what is a sigma? Where is the mu? The variance or the standard deviation or the rate or the mean we can define by using distribution from the statistical function.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I have a question about your group presentation.
Yes.
Do you have any idea of the book of the logic of the book, which the chapter 2 is described about agent-based simulations in methodology, and the chapter 3 is come to, system dynamics. I think this, well, it's hard to understand that logic. Do you have any idea?
Maybe the author of this book want to make the history of social simulation begins with system dynamic, but the author emphasizes only on methodology and practical use, not philosophical background. He not intended to emphasize on the philosophical. Jadi, so he directly go to the how to use, how we can explain the example by using this methodology. Like this, he present two example: the simple example, half-dove and low divers, and the complex example like model, Wolf's model. So every chapter in this book, the author directly go to the methodology, how to use, and example of using this methodology. So every chapter in this book only from chapter 3 until the last chapter only can tell the history of the social simulation, what the methodology can be used by using those methodology like system dynamic, like cellular automata, like this is chapter. There are some chapter explain more detail about the methodology and the practice. So maybe to improve our understanding to read the book, we must consider another resource of another difference to 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 understand why the methodology exists. If we want interest to more deeply understanding about the methodology. Maybe the system dynamic is used to simulate the system thinking methodology, but this is only for the simple, maybe complex, but the participant is unitary. In the system dynamic, we have only one agent. Yes, we have the bird view, top-down approach. So we must understand all the question. If we want to build a model, we must build a question to define the stock, to define the rate. How about the question of the rate? How about the parameter? Maybe this is make much of effort to complete the system dynamic methodology. But there is one software, free software, fencing in education version. You can download. But the principle is same. All the principle of system dynamic is same for every software. I think Stella, Dynamo. Dynamo. I not found the Dynamo software.
Fencing
is
quite popular.
Fencing. I think
in system dynamics lecture.
Yes, because it's free for educational purpose.
Any question about our group's presentation?
Well, about the group leader, do you have any advice for the other groups, because you are the first group? Any advice for group work to other groups?
Maybe my advice, like the presenters say, we must explain our explanation not by using only the literate, the word, but by using more example to make deeper understanding. But this is we hope the next group can provide more example, simple example to describe the concept, the conceptual idea. Maybe it is better to.
Yeah, and especially in the case of Stella, please try to use that. Actually, maybe Stella sample version or trial version might be easy to find.
Yes, trial hack.
Yeah.
This is I use this trial only 30 days.
Okay. And there's so many people want to use Stella, then we can introduce that one. Okay, anyway. And
I only have the one license as an academic version, so I will install it to our common machine, like iMac there.
Okay.
So maybe we can use that.
Okay, if the Stella has been installed, maybe we can learn together the Stella concept.
And in today's presentation, well, Ms. Manahan talked about hawk dog game, and so extract the differential equation from that kind of evolutionary game. Well, it is a typical way of, and in my book, a complex system, well, economics as complex system, well, I explained that way. And I extended that way into the social learning dynamics, the concept of social learning dynamics.
Yes.
it is an easy way to construct a model. So depending on agent base and extract the differential equation. Okay.
Any question? Or comment? Then I finished today's seminar. Do you have some announcement?
Just one comment. I liked this presentation very much because he used a lot of graphs and examples. It was easy to understand. So thank you for your presentation.
Yeah, good presentation.
Barbecue.
Chairman.
Barbecue channel.
Should we confirm the next seminar or the next seminar?
そうですね。Next seminar's chairman is Maraさん。Next is
Who will be the group 2?
Yes.
Group 2 is consists of Maya-san, Komori-kun, Oscar-san.
Did you check their presentation card?
Whose presentation?
Your groups.
Oh no, yeah.
This is a group work. And you can use English better than them.
Yeah, still 1 week.
Yeah, make a good presentation like Manahan and check their files and have common knowledge about your section. Barbecue natto. Okay, and
Next week's presenters is group 2.
Okay.
Three students. Next chairman is じゃあ太田君。はい。一番最後だからちょっとそうしたんだけど。はい。And next presenters it's group 3.
Maybe.
じゃあよろしくお願いします。
By the way, next week I'll have to go to hospital to check my medical condition. So I'll come to the seminar. And that, well, actually today I planned to present some special session about Japanese content industry because in this the end of this month I'll take a special 放送大学 Japanese Open University's lecture for Japanese content industry. So before that one, I'd like to present for you my exercise. But I haven't finished my material, so maybe on this Friday or next Monday, I'd like to present that one. So anyway, maybe I'll notify my schedule to mailing list. So please attend as possible as you can. Well, I'll prepare 2 versions, Japanese version, English version also.
Okay.
So please attend that one. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Any announcement?
じゃあ掃除は2時からでお願いします。